All right, let's talk about type 2 diabetes. It's the big question on everyone's mind, right? Is it my genes or is it my habits? Are some of us just, destined to get it? Or do the choices we make every day really have the power to change our fate? Okay, let's jump in and find out what's really going on. And, the stakes here are, well, they're incredibly high. According to the CDC, get this, a staggering 1 in 3 Americans born after the year 2000 will likely develop diabetes. That is a massive public health challenge, and it makes that central question we just asked even more urgent. So, yeah, this is really the heart of it all, the big question we're tackling. Are we talking about some kind of genetic lottery ticket that you just can't escape? Or is it more like being dealt a hand of cards where you can actually learn to play it well? Let's break down the evidence, and we'll start with the choice a lot of us make every single day. To really get a grip on just how powerful our habits are, let's zoom in on one of the most common suspects linked to diabetes risk, those sugary drinks we all see everywhere. Now, let's be super clear. When scientists and researchers talk about sugar-sweetened beverages, or SSBs for short, what are we actually talking about? It's not just soda. It also includes things like sweetened fruit drinks and those energy drinks. And what's really important here is that this definition doesn't include 100% fruit juice or drinks with artificial sweeteners. So we're really honing in on the impact of that added sugar. So are these drinks really that big of a deal? Well, a huge meta-analysis, which is basically a study of a whole bunch of other high-quality studies, came to a pretty shocking conclusion. People with the highest intake of these SSBs had a 30% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. That is a really powerful link between a daily habit and a major health outcome. Okay, so it's pretty clear that our lifestyle choices are a massive piece of the puzzle. But what about the other side of the coin? Let's dig into the genetics of it all and see what the science says about the hand you were dealt at birth. This is that classic nature versus nurture debate, right? And for type 2 diabetes, it's definitely both. Lifestyle and genetics are huge players. But what's really fascinating, really cool, is that today scientists can actually put a number on the genetic part. They can look at your DNA for dozens of gene variations and calculate something called a genetic risk score. So being able to score this genetic risk, well, it led to a really groundbreaking question. If we know someone has a high genetic risk, can a healthy lifestyle actually beat it? Can it overcome their DNA? An absolutely incredible clinical trial was designed to find out just that. It was called the T2D gene trial. And its mission, it sounds simple, but it's actually profound, to see if a focused lifestyle intervention could truly beat a person's genetic predisposition over a 3-year period. And the way they designed this study, wow, it was so smart. First, they took a group of men who were already at risk. Then, using those genetic risk scores, they split them into 2 camps, low genetic risk and high genetic risk. Okay, then they split each of those camps in half again. One half got a focused lifestyle intervention. That means real guidance on diet and exercise. The other half was the control group. You see how that works? It's the perfect setup to pit action directly against DNA. So, after 3 years of tracking everybody, the results were in. And honestly, they gave us one of the clearest answers we've ever had to that big genes versus habits question. Okay, first, let's look at the men who had a low genetic risk to begin with. For them, the lifestyle intervention, well, it didn't really move the needle much. About 8% in both the intervention and the control groups developed diabetes. The difference wasn't statistically significant, which kind of suggests their low genetic risk was already a pretty powerful shield. But, and this is the big but, look what happened with the men who had a high genetic risk. The story completely flips. In the control group, more than 14% developed diabetes, basically living up to their genetic risk. But in the group that got the lifestyle help, less than 8%. It's like lifestyle practically erased their higher genetic risk. Just incredible. Let's put a hard number on that. For the guys who were genetically dealt the toughest hand, the lifestyle intervention slashed their risk of developing diabetes by a whopping 70%. Their genetic destiny? It wasn't destiny at all. So this was the study's ultimate conclusion. Even though the benefit was just, jaw-droppingly dramatic in the high-risk group, the researchers made a point to say that everyone benefited. The intervention group also saw better blood sugar control and weight loss across the board. The bottom line couldn't be clearer. Lifestyle changes are a powerful tool for absolutely everyone.
Okay, so we know that lifestyle is an absolute game changer. So what now? What does a solid prevention plan, your personal playbook, actually look like? What are the moves you can make?
While luckily the experts at the American College of Sports Medicine and the American Diabetes Association have laid out some super clear evidence-based guidelines. The big goal is at least 150 minutes a week of activity like brisk walking. But check out the details because they're just as important. Spread it out over at least 3 days. Try not to take more than 2 days off in a row. And this one's key, just increase your total daily movement. Even taking short walks makes a huge difference.
So in the end, what's the final word here? Well, you can think of it like this. Your genes might load the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. The science is just so clear on this now. Your choices, the things you do every day, they have the power to completely rewrite your health story. Your genes may deal the cards, sure, but you are the one playing the hand. So the only real question left is, what's your next move?